What does the winner look like in this scenario?
Yeah, so again, like we talk about this shift and the people who are going to adapt to the shift, I obviously think they're going to be a winner, right? And I think if you were to summarize it kind of in a nutshell, it's the people who decide, or the businesses or brands that decide to pivot their content strategy. And I wouldn't say like it's a hard pivot, right? Like you're going to stop your blogging, you're going to
Yeah,
stop your social, you're going to
not pot
stop all that
committed,
stuff.
right?
No, no. Yeah, yeah, you're going to add to it, right? And so you're going to pivot a little bit and you're going to start using more video and podcasts to build more top of funnel content, right? It's not there to convert people into lead gen or anything like that. It's just there to engage people and to build audiences and to get views. But I think the winners are the ones who are going to start using rich content. And the reason why I think they become a winner is because it actually humanizes your brand,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's so funny, man. Like we deal with a lot of brands who are kind of like the holistic space, right? They do things like essential oils or CBD, and they have a big connection back to like yoga and wellness and those kind of concepts, right? And I'm always shocked to see like how few brands actually of those types of brands don't have a podcast,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Because I think those types of brands, like you need to, I think empathy and understanding the challenges that people are facing. Like you do meditation or you do yoga or whatever, right? Because you're fighting stress or you're just trying to find a way to clear your mind. And I think a lot of these instructors, they have this, I don't know, it's like this soothing yoga voice. I don't know how to like call it sir. I don't know. It's like way out there, right?
Right.
But in any case, I think that if you have like being able to communicate like with your tone of voice in an auditory way, right? There's tone in writing, there's tone in audio, but I think being able to show that empathy or being able to show who you are through your voice, like that gets communicated so
Yeah.
much better
Articulation becomes a lot
through.
stronger.
Yeah, and I think ultimately what that means is that you humanize yourself and your brand in front of people, because we always think of companies as like this like impersonal like entity, which is why I think personal branding and company branding have become even more important these days,
Yeah.
right? But it allows your company to literally have a voice, right?
Right.
And who's hosting your podcast, in this case, you're our host, like you're the voice of our company in a lot of ways, right? And so, like, it's almost like if you're about to go into a sales meeting or whatever, if that person had heard a piece of podcast content from you in the past, you kind of soften up the runway a little bit for
Yeah.
you before you jump
Definitely.
into that sales meeting. And a lot of times, like when actually I go into sales calls with people who are interested in our service, they're like, "Oh, Andrew, like I heard your podcast and I watched your podcast, and dude, they already saw me,
Yeah.
they
They feel
already
like they
heard
know you
me,
already.
like exactly." And that just for me as a sales guy, right, the guy who does biz dev for our company, that actually makes me relax, a lot more relaxed,
Right.
right? Knowing that they kind of already know me, they kind of know like how I'm gonna talk, my body language, like all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So then you have someone who you see on a video podcast, but then you are on a Zoom call with them or a Skype call or whatever, and it's just like an extension of that
Mm-hmm.
experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another example, I think, of winners who will adapt to this shift more from a sales perspective, like call it more of an inside sales perspective. And obviously, I think for B2B companies, a lot of us like um, can see some value out of that. But I also think like having that humanizing like factor of it as well is important.